Hi friends, I'm on my way to the store. I'm doing another extreme budget challenge. I've been talking to quite a few of my viewers that have children and are struggling to create budget meals that their kids will enjoy. In this video, I'll be preparing a menu that I think will appeal to the average American kid. I've got popular recipes like pizza, tacos, spaghetti, and I even discovered some tricks to lowering the budget on these ingredients. These meals utilize convenience items, so they're going to be quick and easy to prepare. Working parents don't have a lot of time to plan and prepare meals, so I'm hoping this meal plan will help. I don't usually do back-to-back budget challenges at the same store, but I was thinking about this bread and all the things that I would like to do with it. There's definitely a lot of creative uses for this bread, and at $1.47, it is still a good deal. I'm thinking about doing French bread pizzas, but I'm kind of wondering whether I should get the Italian loaf or the French bread loaf. The French bread is longer, but the Italian loaf is wider. I also think I'll probably do maybe a grilled cheese. I think the Italian bread would be better for the sandwiches, but I think I would like the shape of the French bread for the pizza, so I'm gonna go ahead and go with that. Great Value brand tomato soup is on sale, and looking at the ingredients I realized it mostly just has tomato puree in it, and this might work out perfectly for a marinara. Kind of wondering if anyone has used that before. I also noticed that they had this Velveeta tomato sauce on sale for $1, and this is actually going to be the best value for me this week because I can probably use 2 of these and I'll have enough for my recipes. But I'm going to go ahead and stock up on these. I've been eyeing this traditional pasta sauce for $1.48. It actually has pretty good reviews. However, I noticed that it does have sugar added, and I prefer a less sweet sauce. I know that some people like that, but I actually don't. So they do have another sauce that has less sugar, and I believe it's the marinara. There it is right there. I looked at that one, and that one didn't have any sugar added. I think that that would be more up my alley. However, now that I've come across the tomato sauce, I realize that that's going to be a better deal. Also, this has 23 ounces. That is a lot more than what I actually need this week. So the rest of it would just end up in my refrigerator anyway. And since I'm trying to keep the budget as low as possible, I'm just going to go ahead and go with the tomato sauce. I'm planning to make a soup this week, and I'm thinking a little bit of evaporated milk will make my soup a lot richer. I love evaporated milk in soups, but I'm not sure if I could get away with getting the small or not, but I would save some money, and that might enable me to get an extra item. So I think I'm going to go ahead and try to make this work. I'm also going to grab the larger can for my pantry supplies. I think I already have a couple in there, but I'm going to grab another one just in case, and then that way if I decide I want to swap them out, I can. I want to purchase the pizza blend for my French bread pizzas because it does have a mixture of the mozzarella and the mild cheddar, but I also want the extra sharp cheddar because I plan to make tacos, and I do love that on my tacos. However, that is a lot of money to spend on 2 cheeses for the week, especially when we're doing an extreme budget. So I have tacos quite frequently. I've never done the French bread, and that's been on my bucket list for a while, so I think I'll go ahead and get that. I'm going to go ahead and get these Romero's smaller taco shells for $1.12. It's definitely going to save some money in the budget. I don't normally get the smaller kind, but I might actually end up liking the ratio of meat to shell. They do have the Guerrero. I sometimes buy those for $1.68 if you wanted to spend a little bit more for a regular size. And then I thought about this ground beef. When I was planning this menu, I thought I would go ahead and do ground beef because it's a little bit less expensive. And then I also was thinking, I normally do fresh potatoes, but I thought because I'm trying to do more convenience foods this week, I thought it might be nice to get these potatoes just for making breakfast easy. And I might try to use these in a soup also. And I like the fact that they also have the green peppers and onions included. That's just a bonus. I was thinking that if they had individual mushrooms, that it would have been great to pick up like 1 or 2 maybe for my French bread pizzas, but they are all pre-packaged. And then for the lettuce, I was planning to get the romaine hearts because I do love those the best, and I find that they last a lot better than the iceberg. But when I was shopping, I realized that I could save quite a bit because the romaine was $3.34, and if I just purchased the head of lettuce, I would save quite a bit. When I walked past this ground turkey section, I realized that if I substitute the ground turkey for the ground beef, I'll save quite a bit more money, and it might enable me to be able to purchase the sharp cheddar, especially with all of the little savings that I've made here and there. So I think I'm going to go ahead and go with that. And it's so funny, last night I was talking to one of my viewers, and she said her family doesn't like ground turkey, so when she's cooking with it, she hides it with a beef soup base. I thought that was so funny. So there was this bird in Walmart, and I felt so bad because everywhere I went, this little bird was flying around, and I don't think he knew how to get out. In mind that I wanted these little cherry tomatoes, or actually they're grape tomatoes in this case, but I really wanted these on the pizza that I'm going to make, and I also plan to make some spaghetti, and I just thought these would be beautiful tossed in with that. Multiple stores did have the Roma tomatoes for 99 cents a pound this week, so if it's the same price where you live, you would be saving $1.50 off the menu if you went with that option. I've got a couple of ideas for the zucchini this week. I think I'm going to do like an eggplant parmigiana, except I'm going to use zucchini. And I'm not sure it's going to work, but I think I'm going to give it a try because I think it would be tasty. I could serve it alongside spaghetti and use my bread to make some breadcrumbs for the batter to fry it in. I think that'd be really good. Here is our haul. It ended up being $23.30. I did end up picking up a lemon for 50 cents when I stopped by Wholesome Choice on the way home, but Walmart did have those lemons for 55 cents. So I just added that into the budget because I do have a lot of spaghetti, and I've gotten to where I crave lemon spaghetti at least every couple of weeks because it is just so good. I actually have 7 recipes for spaghetti. If I take one box of spaghetti, I'm able to have so much variety throughout the week because I have all of those different ways to use it that I really, really love. That just suits me. That's the good thing about finding different recipes that you like. I've been wanting to try these French bread pizzas for a long time now. I'm not sure how large the pizza should be, so I'm going to go ahead and use this Red Baron deep dish pizza as a guide to how big it should be. And it's going to be thicker, so I purchased these Red Baron pizzas at Sam's Club, and I like to have them in the freezer because every now and then if I'm too tired for dinner or whatever, or lunch, I can just pull it out and pop it in the toaster oven, and it makes for a quick meal. But I'm excited to try it with the French bread because it's going to give a more of a deep dish type crust, which I really love. I also want to see how it works out with freezing it. I'll go ahead and cook one to eat now, but I'll also make one and put it in the freezer, and then we'll try baking it to see if it works as well as the kind that I've been purchasing at Sam's Club. If so, it would be great because we'd be able to make some inexpensive convenience foods to have on hand. For the French bread, I think the trick on this is going to be making sure that I use the bread in all of the meals that I'm planning out. So what I'm basically doing here is just cutting out everything I need. I've got pizzas, I've got enough for grilled cheese, I also have some for garlic bread, for some spaghetti. I also plan to make some breadcrumbs out of one of these. This is like eating a deep dish pizza. The thing is that the bread was really fresh. It tastes fresh and it's super fluffy and chewy when you bite down into it. Those tomatoes have the perfect fresh bursting flavor with juice. Also, I can taste the garlic that we treated with the garlic bread, and it adds that additional pop of flavor. These French bread pizzas were so delicious. I'm looking forward to trying this with different toppings. The only problem with this is it's so good that you might eat a lot more than you anticipate, which is okay because the ingredients are fairly inexpensive. Also, I think I used too much cheese on there. I didn't realize what a good melting cheese these would be. I think I could have gotten away with a lot less cheese, which would have made it stretch a lot further. I was excited to make this and then freeze it and then try to recook it again. And so that's what I did with one of the servings. I followed the cooking instructions on my mini pizza and cooked it at 375 for 22 to 25 minutes. I was planning to do a taste test between my pizzas and the Red Baron pizzas, but I didn't have to. By far, the French bread pizzas were way better and a lot less expensive, so I'm excited that I discovered this, and I'm definitely going to be using this in the future. I'm going to make some of these for the freezer so that I can eat these for lunches. I can remember a time in my life where I forgot the taco seasoning mix, so I didn't make tacos that night. I didn't realize at the time how easy it was to make, and that I already had all of the spices in my seasoning cabinet. And you probably do too. It basically is just chili powder, cumin, some salt, black pepper, paprika, garlic powder, and onion powder. I also wanted to share with you this container that I have. I think I've told you about this before, but I love this 5-compartment container. Normally I have it set up like this with 2 of the containers full of lettuce, but in this case I'm just cutting only a small portion of the lettuce off so that I can make that last, because iceberg wilts really quickly after cutting it. So with the other kind of lettuce I would have it all cut up in the fridge and then just pull it from the fridge. But with this, I'm just gonna cut it as I go. I also like using that container as a salad bar. I'll put an Amazon link to that in the description. Also, I did want to say, I had an idea that it would be great to use the beans to make the meat spread out further. But when I made a taco for myself with beans and meat, I realized I really didn't like the mixture of textures. It kind of ruined the whole experience for me. Normally, I do love the meat tacos and I also love bean tacos, but not together. So I definitely recommend having them separate. I don't know, maybe you would like them, but I definitely didn't. The grilled cheese is delicious. This is hands down my favorite bread for grilled cheese. I will say though, for the soup, you know how in restaurants, if you have a homemade tomato soup, it's usually seasoned with basil. So that's what I was thinking when I made that marinara with the tomato sauce, that it would be easy to use one of those cans for the soup. Not only would it be a perfect serving size for one, but if you could get that on sale, you would be saving quite a bit from the regular cost of tomato soup. So it was good, but definitely thought that it would have been better if I would have used the seasoned tomato sauce. I also could have tried adding a few seasonings to this soup to see if I could increase the flavor on this a little bit. I think that that would have helped as well. The zucchini bread and meal prep made breakfast this week so easy. I'll definitely be using those hash browns again in the future. That's it, guys. I hope you liked my video this week and that there are some ideas in this video that you might want to try with your own family. Thanks, Empty Nester, for the super thanks, and I'll see you guys in the next video.